Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here with another episode of Quilt Bingo. And today we're doing orange peels. Guys, we're more than halfway done. So if you're following along, you're sewing along with these, you're doing great. You're learning all sorts of fun things. I hope you're learning fun things. And we're just having a great time on Quilt Bingo. But first, let's get to our shout-outs. And we have a twofer today. We have two shout-outs for you today. Eve at Eve's Creative Laboratory is just having so much fun. You guys gotta go check her out. You know, give her some words of encouragement, all the love. You know, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up. You know the drill. You know the drill, right? And also, Natalya of Melody of Sewing. She has some beautiful projects on her channel. So you guys got to go check her out again. Give her love, encouragement, hit her subscribe button, hit her thumbs up, all the rest of this stuff. And while you're there, you know, like, tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you to both of those people because I think they're quite talented. And I think you'll enjoy what's going on. So, what's happening after Quilt Bingo? We're going to do another sew along, and it's called Twinkle Twinkle. And the only clue you're getting is save your strings. You're going to need strings for this one, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty awesome. So you guys save your strings. That's your next one up. Mini Monday is coming back with some changes, and I'm not sure when. We're filming this September 19th, right? So I'm not sure when this is going to fall and whether Mini Monday will be back with all of its fun little things. But the Mini Monday is going to be blocks less than 12.5 inches unfinished, where Friday is going to stay at 12.5 inch unfinished, right, for Free Pattern Friday, right? Also, we have the Zoom sew dates. It's the first Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I live in Alberta, Canada. And we just have a blast on those sew dates, and they're free to come join. And if you don't have any sewing planned for that day, bring your crocheting, your cross stitch, whatever. We're more inclusive than exclusive. So remember that, those dates. They're also going to be in the show notes below, as well as the two YouTubers I just mentioned earlier. So also making comments, share, liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, thumbs up, all helps our analytics, right? For some reason, we just, you know, we enjoy hearing from you anyways, but I mean, all of those actions that you're doing on our channel helps our analytics and helps us continue bringing you fun, free patterns every week. And we're going to do 3 or more. Well, Quilt Bingo has 3 all on its own, but we do 3 free patterns a week, and we would just love to continue being able to do that. Also, we have a Facebook group. Now, the admins are asking, because they've got so many new things going on with the Facebook group, right, is that when you join the group, when you go to join the group, answer all the question and agree to the rules. Otherwise, you won't get in. They just, nope, sorry. And they do try and tell you, you know, to agree to the rules and you know, answer all the questions. But it's very important, because those are people we're letting in. Like, just no problem, you know, like, so that's what the admins have asked me to say to all of you. We also have a virtual sewing room hosted by Discord, and we have so much fun in there. And there's a group of people that are in there sewing all the time, and they just have a blast. They become friends after a while, and they have a whole bunch of new sewing buddies to hang out with. We also have numerous community chats. Yes, Facebook has changed that too, so we're scrambling to get all the community chats back up and running well, and hopefully we haven't lost too much information, but you know, the admins are doing what they can. We didn't know a lot about it beforehand, before it decided to happen. Also, we do fabric exchanges by country to keep the cost of postage down, and to not have to pay duty or import taxes on our little fabric exchanges. Those fabric exchanges are wonderful to join too. You get a lot of variety from everybody, you know, in your country, and there's so much fun to do. Also, I speak for free to quilting guilds and quilting groups. No, there's no minimum number. And what we do, we have, as of the end of December 2025, we will have 2 speaking engagements ready for you. One that I talk about elements of design, making charity quilts, and the other one is using your scraps for quilts. And I show all sorts of fun examples there, and I direct people to where those quilts are. The other one I'm going to leave as a mystery. So if you had me as a speaker for your guild before, as of January 2026, you can rebook me because I'll have a new speaking engagement. So I'm hoping I love looking forward to talking to groups of people, and it's just so much fun. Also, your shout outs, I appreciate them so much. We've had so many here in the last little while where members here, people that have been watching, members of the Facebook group also, giving me free shout outs. I decided I'm going to up my game and do 2 shout outs per video just to get through the list, hopefully before Christmas, because there's a lot of very talented people on YouTube, and there's room for all the voices on YouTube as well. So now, if you're trying to get a hold of me either for speaking engagement or to give me a shout out, under the More tab or the About tab, you can get my email address. But I am much faster at answering the Facebook messages, so don't be afraid of sending me a message saying, we'd like you to speak, or have you checked out this channel or something. Just make sure you send me the link for that, because I'm really lousy at looking up stuff. Anyways, I think that's all we have right now. So let's get to the sewing of orange peels. Come on in. Okay, orange peel. Orange peels are one of those things that everybody loves. They're long, graceful curves that come to a point, and they usually have just a very long, graceful curve to sew. Now, long curves are much easier to sew than others. Now, what I did was I taped my 4 pages together. I got it to lay as flat as I could, and then I just cut it out like you would a pattern for clothes or anything else. So I'm just going to move the patterns out of the way, because we don't need them. And you can see we've got 2 side pieces and 1, orange peel. So this comes together really, really quickly. Now, I'm going to show you a cheat right here. And I recommend that you don't handle the edge. Just handle this little area that you're going to make quickly go right in there. Now remember, these are easy curves, right? The beginner blocks are very easy curves. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a pin right in each one of those divots that you just scratched in with your thumbnail or your fingernail, right? That's going to mark your halfway point around the curve. Okay, so you put that over there. Now you're going to take this and you're going to line up that edge. Now I fudged this outside edge because it's a little big, but that's okay. I'm not sewing on that edge. And I've also got good straight of grain on this outer edge. This is your straight of grain here, right? So now, here I'm going to just scratch in that little bit and pin it, all right, like so. Okay, and then the other one, I'm going to pin where the divot is, because I want to be able to see that divot clearly as I go along. There we go. There we go. Just nice and neat. And having a little bit of wiggle room on the outside edge can be such a godsend, right? Because, when you go to trim your block, where did it go? Right there. Because when you go to trim your block, you've always got a little bit of playroom. Okay, so, well, let's start this. Okay, so we get this part here. Oops, get this out of the way. And get this part here. Now you always lay this part on top, and it just works better. And you want to line this up so the first 3 or 4 stitches are parallel. Now, where's my foot pedal? Ah, I lost it. Lost my foot pedal. Now, what happened here is this dropped off the machine. You don't want anything to have drag. You want that whole thing. And you're just going to do a little bit at a time. Yes, it's a much easier curve to sew. And when you stop with your needle down. Much easier curve to sew. But you don't want this hanging off, because hanging off will create drag, and that's the last thing you want to do. So as you're doing this, you're going to hold it in the middle, and you're just going to start moving it along very slowly, kind of easing them in together, just a little bit at a time. And of course more is falling off. More is falling off all the time. Okay, well, here we go. That, oh, all of a sudden you get this. And you take a run at it because, wow, that only happens a couple of times a year. Okay, so now you're meeting, your needles are meeting together. Slowly hand crank over the needles and then pull them out. So that means you've hit that center on this side, like here, you've hit that perfectly. Now what you're going to do, everything is on the sewing machine table, right? And no stretching, because all of this stuff is on a bias right now. And you just want to wiggle it into place and get it all sewn up lovely. And okay, now we're really close to that edge. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now you want to take that off. Okay. And what's going to happen is you're going to push this in. Okay, so let me flip this over. And you're going to just rub it with your nail just to push this in. Because pushing it in means you don't clip seams, right? You don't have any seams to clip. You don't have any, you're doing a curve. So if it went the other way, so you're folding, you're clipping it into the melon, or you're pushing the seam into the melon. And you're just doing a very quick little finger press and getting a little more on the end, right? This, when you're pushing it this way, right, that seam this way into the melon, what happens is you don't have to clip the seam because it's a curve that's going to lie flat in this way, right? So there, I just saved you some time. If you want to, like sometimes, depending on the fabric that you use for your melon, if your fabric is really tense or tight, well, then guess what? You're going to have to clip. Like if this was a much heavier weight than the outside, you would be forced to clip your seam. Now, when it comes to putting the second one down, you don't want to start way out here because this is where I cheated. You only want to start like a 1/4 inch past that seam. So that's what it's going to look like. Let's see if I can't get this closer. So if I start my curve here, right, I'm now including that cheat. I don't have enough room on the cheat to do that, right? So I'm going to start mine here, just a 1/4 inch away from this seam right here, 1/4 inch overlap. Okay, and, okay, get it all flat. Oh, jeez. Okay, let me get this all flat. Okay, get it started. There we go. And get the heavy part off so I don't create drag. There we go. And you're just going to maneuver this part again. Okay, there. I'm just going to clip this just to get it off. Okay. So this is where I want to line up. Now I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. Make sure I've got all of this, all the pieces are playing nice together. And wow. Perfection! I've got that just, now that's a really, doing it in half, that's a really good trick to know, by the way. When you get into your inset circles and other curves, that's really handy to know. Okay. Now when you're doing an inset seam for the intermediate and the hard, the same rules apply. And the only reason why they're different is hard is because you've got more circles, and the circles are not the... When you're doing orange peels, there's more orange peels, and the orange peels are smaller. Therefore, the curves are sharper. Okay. And I just want to line that up. So I've got just a 1/4 inch overlap. And this lines up perfectly. Yay. Okay. That goes in, not out. There we go. There we go. Now, again, we're going to get this off the thread. Okay. And we're just going to lay this out just like so. And I'm going to take this. Now, I'm going to press this into the melon again. And just a little finger press will help when you get to the ironing board, right? I mean, I'm going to take this and iron it good before we do our ta-da moment, but just giving it a little finger press to give it that assistance to move that way will help you so much. If you were doing a whole bunch of these, you would get to this point and then you would press them all in, right? Okay, so again, both pieces go towards the center, all right? That's the easiest way to explain it. When you're doing the hard or the intermediate, again, press this way, press it in that way. Okay, so let me give this a really good press, a squaring up, and we'll get to our big ta-da moment. Okay, so here's our really quick and fast orange peel. This is so beginner friendly, and because of its size, because it's larger sized orange peel, this gives a real modern feel to this block. This is a very traditional block. Now, it's a very easy curve because it's a very long, easy curve. And it does square up beautifully, even though I left some wiggle room on the outer edge. And some of you may, oh, why do you do that? Well, because you never know what's going to go wrong. So you need a little bit of wiggle edge. Now, this is the beginner block, and this was a lot of fun. And you saw how fast. Now, the intermediate, of course, has got 4. And the melons are a little smaller, but they're still easy. They're not like really, really hard to do. The biggest thing might be getting them all to match into the center, but you know, you do your best. You do your best. You're practicing and mastering a skill that you didn't have. So this is, you do your best. You know, you play around, you have some fun. The hard one, I don't know what I was dreaming about when I saw this one. I just fell in love with this one, and I even managed to fussy cut a little horse and carriage in there. This is another name for this is a glorified 4-patch or 9-patch. But when I was playing around with it, and I was playing around with the melons and all this stuff, and then putting in other elements like a surprise element like a 9-patch, I was like, ooh, that kind of looks like glorified 9-patch. Then I looked up glorified 9-patch, and it's different. But it has the same kind of a feel to it. And yes, we use a really crazy background just because we can. We had a lot of fun with this one. Would I do this particular block again? Yeah, I would. I don't know, self-torture or what. But like I say, this one was so much fun to do. And I do hope if you guys are really interested in getting your melons and learning how to sew curves, I do hope you give this one a try. It might be easier at first to hand baste the curves in against the 9-patches, but it would work. Anyways, I hope you guys are trying this, having fun, staying well, and taking care until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.